Optimisation. It's a word that's thrown around a lot in digital marketing fields, but is it really achieved that often? Probably not as much as you think because, well, optimisation isn't always as easy as it seems, for a multitude of reasons.
As marketers, we're often called upon to find 100 different ways to do the same thing over time. How to get people to open or click an email, fill out a form, or how to communicate a product or value proposition. And yet, many of us will admit to feeling like we're just throwing spaghetti at a wall, hoping something will stick, even in spite of the wealth of data around us that, theoretically, could be used to help turn us into finely tuned, high-performing marketing machines.
So, what's the secret? Well, today we're going to talk through how to get started with optimisation, the major roadblocks that make optimisation difficult to achieve, and our top tips to help you make sure that you're optimising effectively. This video will skip over some of the details around important steps that lead to optimisation, so if you haven't watched our earlier videos about data collection, data visualisation and analysis, make sure you check those out first. Alright, let's dig in.
The most important thing about getting started with optimisation is that you get started. Just starting is a significant step in the right direction. But beyond this, there are a few key things you can do to help get your journey of optimisation set off on the right foot.
Firstly, you should consider optimisation as a cultural shift in your business. In many ways, optimisation is a mindset, and you want to create a culture in your business and your team where it's safe to ask what worked with this project, what didn't, and how can we make it better. It might sound silly or obvious, but make sure you remember that there shouldn't be egos in this game. It's about challenging the tools, the processes, and the outcomes. It's not about people being right or wrong.
Secondly, you should always let the data lead the way here. Look at your data, your reporting, and find the gaps, the room for improvement, the low-hanging fruit. Instinct can point you in the right direction when you have that gut feeling that something isn't working, but it's always worth validating that instinct with hard data before going on a wild goose chase. Despite our best intentions, lots of things can get in the way of our ability to optimize effectively, and they're often a big part of what makes optimization more difficult than we expect. So, what are some of the common roadblocks and how can you avoid them?
One of the most common roadblocks is often referred to as hamster wheeling, getting stuck in an infinite loop of managing the day-to-day, getting campaigns out the door and moving straight on to the next one without ever really taking the time to review, make learnings, improve and iterate. It's easy for optimization to get stuck lower down the priority list because while we all recognize its importance, it's really considered urgent.
Likewise, it's easy for data management and performance analysis to be a one-time project rather than an evergreen activity. For the most part, these roadblocks all boil down to challenges with prioritization, workload management, and resource challenges. If these all sound familiar to you, then you may want to prioritize work based not just on urgency, but on importance too. Plan ahead. Implement processes and guidelines that dictate how much turnaround time a campaign needs, when it should be briefed in, and how feedback should be managed. Remember, it's about automation, not manipulation. Optimization isn't just about changes you can make to the details of campaigns themselves, but also to the ways that we work. Are there repetitive manual steps and processes you're handling that could be avoided? Can some of these things be automated? Tools like Zapier, Microsoft Power Automate, and even Excel macros can shave precious minutes or even hours off repetitive tasks, allowing you to spend more time effectively on other things, even if it's just allowing you to take a lunch break. And don't forget to lean on your manager if you can. Help them understand the potential impact of these projects and tasks so they can support you and your workload prioritization and protect your time.
If this is very different to the way your workload currently looks, it may be a significant change to try to start working this way. But believe us when we say it will make a considerable difference to the impact you're able to have on the business and likely your work-life balance too. And any good workplace should be willing to support you with achieving both of those things. When it comes to optimizing, it's common for marketers to ask, or be asked, questions about what kind of performance they should be seeing. Benchmarks are what people often look for to answer these questions, to provide a reference point of what good and bad actually look like.
But buyer beware. While benchmarks can give you information about what results others have seen or what results your organization has seen historically, they can also lead you down a slippery slope. Let's take a look at the pros and cons of both global and internal benchmarks.
Global benchmarks look at campaign performance across an industry or category and help you gauge if you're heading in the right direction. They're a fantastic way of being able to apply competitive research to get you in the creative mindset with your campaign activity. However, global benchmarks rely on data that isn't your own. They're interesting to look at, but it's difficult to compare your own business or campaign activity against data that isn't yours. It's like comparing apples to oranges. Competitive research can also be a distraction, as it doesn't allow you to measure your own campaign effectiveness.
Internal benchmarks, on the other hand, use your own data to create a baseline of the overall performance of your marketing campaigns and business. This can be helpful because it provides a reference point that is specifically relevant to the unique circumstances of your business. But it can also lead you down a slippery slope of complacency, causing you to tunnel vision on the wrong data.
The moral of the story? Don't be a slave to your target. If you've done what you can and achieved something of value, be ready to move on to your next success. Targets are tools, not rules.
If we want to maximize our campaign performance and ROI, then we as marketers have to start thinking more like scientists when it comes to campaign testing. And A/B testing is a great way to do this, allowing us to compare two campaign variations to better understand how our prospects and customers are engaging with our content. But A/B testing is also one of the areas where it's easiest for marketers to go astray. We want robust and believable results here. We're not here to throw spaghetti at a wall to see what sticks. Here are our top tips for A/B testing.
Don't skip the hypothesis. This is the first place marketers tend to go wrong, by testing based on a marketing question rather than a testable, measurable hypothesis. What's the difference? In essence, a hypothesis is a statement, not a question, that is specific, gives clear guidance on what your variables are, and is measurable. So when is the best time to send emails is not a hypothesis, but emails have better open rates when sent on Tuesdays compared to Mondays is.
Know what you're measuring and be reasonable about it. Don't try to measure things that your variables, the factors you're changing from version A to version B, can't reasonably claim impact over. If you're making changes to the subject line, then your measure should be open rates instead of click-through rates. If you're making changes to the call to action, then your measure should be click-through rate.
Another area where marketers tend to make mistakes is when we try to test too many things at once. Testing send time as well as open rates as well as button colors might seem like an efficient way to get a lot of tests done in a short period of time, but in reality it muddies the waters, making it impossible to prove that the differences you saw were really attributable to that one thing and not another. So test one thing at a time.
Don't forget about statistical significance. Hands down, the biggest and most common mistake marketers make in this area is ignoring this point. Think of it as the difference between 2 out of 3 people liking something versus 2,000 out of 3,000 people liking it. Statistical significance is a calculation you can easily make with a number of online calculators to judge the reliability of your test results. It's effectively a way of establishing whether version A performed better because it is genuinely better, or whether it simply performed better by chance. If you're making important decisions about your marketing strategies without confirming that the results informing those decisions are statistically significant, well, you're rolling a dice, and there's no knowing whether the next roll will be a natural 20 or a natural 1.
Throughout the reporting process, we've been focused on results, but when we're optimizing our marketing campaigns, the key thing we need to do is bring it back to the customer and their overall experience with us. Let's take a step back for a moment and revisit the customer experience to see how it aligns with our buyer journey. We want to ensure our information, products, or services are appearing at the right time for our various customer segments, but we also want to ensure that our prospects and customers are happy and feel looked after.
So how do we even begin to optimize for the customer journey? Well, start with your sales funnel and the following questions. Who is my target audience and where are they in their buying journey? What do they need to do to move forward in their buying journey? Which marketing channels are best suited to reaching this segment? Optimizing for the customer experience is all about identifying what we already know about our customer and using our testing strategies, like A/B testing, to better understand the things we don't yet know.
The last 3 videos have taken us on a journey from data acquisition to reporting to optimization. Each step is an important process that we need to carefully manage to ensure our marketing activity is providing value to the business. But even when it ends, it doesn't end.
Truly understanding your audience is a process only achievable through testing and optimizing. Sure, you might strike the conversion jackpot every once in a while if you're not optimizing your campaign activity, but that's only the exception and not the rule. If you want to become an effective marketer, then you need to commit to analyzing your campaign activity to better understand who your audience is, what they want from your business, and why they signed up to your marketing in the first place. The only way you're going to find out is to keep testing and never stop.
But for now, that's it from us. Happy automating? We'll catch you on the next one.